Hey, welcome back to Star Technology, where in the last video, we built up the rotary hearth furnace and bulk blast chiller to completely replace the blast furnace and vacuum freezer. And currently, they are so strong that I cannot keep up with them. So, pretty safe to say this was a good upgrade. As you can see, since last time, I've upgraded them to titanium coils, so that's a very nice speed boost. I haven't measured exactly how much faster it is, but should be about a 30%, 40% increase, something along those lines. And it looks like we're going to need it, just judging by the things that I've got to do soon. Because I've been looking ahead to see exactly what I need, going much further on, and really, I'm struggling to separate this into meaningful portions. Because pretty much everything left is either a minor upgrade like cheaper LUV circuits or the parallel control hatch, or it's directly working towards the Stargate. There's no more generalist upgrades left. And looking at some of the stuff that I'm going to need, some things are quite expensive, like the runic platings each need a singularity. And I don't think I have to explain that a singularity takes quite a lot of resources, and I'm going to need quite a lot of them. But I think the biggest offender is probably the Stargate rods. Because to make the full Stargate, I need 9 of these chevron blocks. Each chevron block takes nearly a full stack of Stargate rods. And each Stargate rod takes 2.5 stacks of neutronium foil and 4 stacks of weapon-grade naquative foil. So that is extremely expensive, both in terms of what the actual materials are and how long they're going to take to craft. And based on the way you guys in the comment section are talking about it, it sounds like one hearth furnace isn't going to be enough. To quote you directly, I'm going to need about 16 RHFs and then still wait a long time, or I need to get one and wait a comically long time for the Stargate. So, I've got a lot ahead of me, but I'm nothing if not committed to this. And unless that comically long time is a matter of weeks, I think I'm fine to wait it out. I'll just have to wait and see how long it actually is. But for now, I'm relatively confident that even though it's going to take an extremely long time, I'm fine to wait with just the one furnace. It's not going to stop me from upgrading other things though. But anyway, I think the plan for this video, if I can make it far enough, is to start getting the Stargate rods under production. The rest of this I can do some other time, that's its own ordeal. But it doesn't seem too bad to make it to the Stargate rod. It is 3 multi-blocks. The heat chamber is quite sizable, but the others don't seem that bad. Maybe a bit expensive with Shellite and Twinite, even bringing back Signalum, but I might be able to do this. So, first things first, I need a void ingot, and that needs echo fluid? Yeah, just extracting an echo shard. 600 seconds in an LUV extractor. That's a lot. And then another 150 seconds in a fluid solidifier. Okay, I think I'm going to have to start by investing in a big extractor and a big fluid solidifier, because I don't think ZPM's going to cut it. And actually, I only have IV fluid solidifiers, so that's first on the docket. I think I'll go UV for both of them, because I should have most of what I need. And the stuff that I don't isn't too far out of my reach. I need to get the UV components anyway. It looks like it's going to take a little bit for me to get a lot of the things I need for those machines. I can probably still get some echo shards going. It's going to take a very long time, but I can get a little bit. I can't make the void ingot though until I've got that machine. Okay, so without too much effort, I now have the UV fluid solidifier and the UV extractor. I'm just going to set them up over here and swap over all of the patterns. Then I just need to set up the recipes for a void ingot, and I should be able to queue them up. The first 2 should come relatively quickly, because I already have the echo fluid. The next, not so much, but quicker than before at least. There we go. 1 raw void ingot. Now to turn it into a proper void ingot, I need a heat chamber, and that's going to be its own ordeal. Oh, and I didn't notice it takes neutronium frames. Thank God I've got a bunch in reserve. I am going to need it. Well, I can see how much of this I actually have recipes for. I might have enough spare dragon steel wires. Yes. I'm only going to need one of these, so it's probably not worth making a recipe for that. Probably similarly with double titanium plates, but liquid HSSS, that's going to be useful for a couple other things. And then I need niobium nitride? That's something I haven't made yet. Oh, niobium and nitrogen. Very simple. So then, to make a heat chamber, I should have everything I need. I just need to manually make the double titanium plates. That's not hard. So, I can get the control block on the way. It's probably going to take a very long time, considering that some of the machines are already taken. But there's still plenty of other things that I need to make. I think I may as well bite the bullet and get the neutronium frames out of the way. I need 64 of them. And seeing as only 18 buckets of liquid neutronium sounds quite a lot cheaper. Okay then, I can do the tungsten steel stuff next. I need 80 firebox casings, 40 engine intake casings, and 116 pipe casings. Those shouldn't be that bad. Next up is the coils. And I don't know how the different coils work. I mean, obviously the higher tier coils, the faster, but if I run it on UHV power, 50 seconds isn't bad. I think I just go with trinium instead of titanium. I think that'll be fine. Gonna need to make 3 more though. And if it turns out I do need it going much quicker, I can just make titanium coils again. Right, next, I need 92 high temperature smelting casings. And then the big one, thermal fluctuation proof enderium casings. I'm guessing there's a lot more of them on the inside, or not, because somehow I doubt that this takes almost 500 of them. But if that's what it says, that's what I'll make. I'm gonna need a new recipe for them, and I have close to none of this. But it's still pretty cheap, just depends on how hard it is to get all that enderium. What's the exact number? 475. That is quite expensive. 1,900 enderium. Oh boy. Yeah, this is gonna take a long time. Although in only about 20 minutes, I have all of the items I should need to make this. Forgot to grab the firebox casings and the intake casings, but still holds. I should have everything I need. So while I wait for the last bit of the control block to be made, I'm gonna get the rest of these hatches. And you guys in the comment section have been telling me to use an auto maintenance hatch instead of a regular maintenance hatch, but I honestly don't know what difference that would make. Because I know the maintenance hatch is supposed to start breaking down over time, and you need to give it maintenance, but that has never happened once. Be it that it's removed from this pack or it's bugged, I've never had to maintain these hatches other than that initial click to get the machine going. So the auto maintenance hatch does nothing but save that initial click. I don't see the point, considering most of my hatches I buy from the bus hatch pack, and it just gives me a ton of the regular maintenance hatches. I guess if need be, I've got a bunch of this tape to put around, but I don't think there's a difference. This is just easier because I don't have to make it myself. I guess the exception would be if I wanted to make a cleaning maintenance hatch, but then again, every machine of note is already inside the clean room. So unless there's something I'm missing, I'm just going to stick to the regular maintenance hatch because I don't think it changes anything. Well, in the meantime, the heat chamber control block is done, and I'm mostly just waiting on the energy hatches, so I guess I can build up the rest of this while I wait. And could I fit it on this platform? It's 13 by 13, so then I should be able to fit it in this gap. It would make this platform a little bit messy, but I think I'm kind of beyond that at this point. So I just need to move this cable over to make a bit more space, and then there was a torch in the way actually. Ooh, it was a bit tighter than I thought it would be, and it hasn't quite fit here. Is there anywhere else that it messed up? No, because I made one more enderium casing than I needed, just by the nature of it making an even number. I'm probably gonna have to move this a little bit, because I could move the ingredient buffer over. Yeah, makes it look a bit weird, but it means that this fits. Although I forgot to remove the hatches from my inventory when I placed this, so I'm guessing a lot of these are in bad spots. By the looks of things, I'm only going to have this front bit to work with, really. Yeah, it's a bit awkward, but I can move these around. I think for simplicity's sake, I'll put the two inputs next to each other. And then I can put the energy hatches there and connect it to power. Now, why hasn't this worked? And clearly there's some mobs in here too. I have gone through and lit this up once already. Maybe that wasn't enough. Yep. I didn't have any resources spare. Could it just be the torches? That hasn't stopped any other multi-block. Just for argument's sake, stick a torch in there. Never mind. The torches do matter. I honestly don't know what's wrong with this. I've removed all the torches. I've made absolutely sure that all of these hatches are in the right spot. All the coils are the same. I assume it would have built this correctly. I guess it's not all in the one chunk. But that hasn't stopped other multi-blocks from working. Alright, I'm just going to go for the nuclear option. I've torn down the whole thing and rebuilt it again. Ah, I have spare casings? Ah, didn't fix it. As per usual, Google's not very helpful. I'm genuinely stumped on what's wrong here. I cannot figure out why this refuses to build itself. I'm grasping at any possible solution. None of them seem to be working. The last thing I can think of is to just tear this whole thing down and build it again by hand. Oh! Have I... Oh, okay. That's what the problem was. There was a random torch left in the base of it, meaning there was one missing block. Just for argument's sake, can I light this up now? Yes. So I don't have to have Mob City here. Don't know why the blast chiller didn't work when I put torches in it. Well, that was about 15 minutes of wasted time. Let's get those void ingots done, shall we? Oh, it needs UEV power. Good thing I got those hatches. Alright, there's 10 hot void ingots. Oops. That didn't happen. And with a bit of liquid helium, that's the hot ingots cooled down. Right, that took longer than it should have. I'll just quickly turn that into recipes and just connect that up. And now I can make void ingots whenever I want. Okay, so moving on. Next, I need the large rotor machine. This one seems like it's going to be a little bit more expensive. Oh yeah, I'm missing a bit more than I thought I would be to make the control block, but nothing out of my wheelhouse. I think all I don't have automated is the double plates. But again, I'm only going to be making one of these, so I can just do these manually. Although I don't have red steel. Doesn't seem to be that hard to get though. I mostly just need the bismuth bronze. The brass is easy. The bismuth might be a bit harder, but I can probably make it manually. And I've already got a little bit. It's probably all I'll need. So I can get that red steel pretty easily. Turn it into the double plate. Then I can get the rotor machine multi-block going. Or control block, rather. What do I need for the multi-block? Comparably not as much. I need 37 firebox casings, 24 intake casings, 68 machine casings, 8 sterilized filter casings, and then the twinite and shellite casings. Those ones are new. The twinite one shouldn't be so bad. Just gonna need a bunch of twinite really. And the shellite seems to be more or less the same. Something that I'm gonna try is I'm gonna macerate down all of my wires to just convert it back into the original dust. And then I need 36 twinite casings and 48 shellite casings. And all of that came pretty quickly. So now, where am I going to build this rotor machine? Because I really don't have space here anymore. It's a 9x9 multi-block, so it's not going to fit in that corner. If I was bothered, I could move the research more up that way and move the assembly line back, and that'd give me enough space here. But I'll just make another platform. There we go, there's a new platform. Annoyingly, this is a 9x9 machine, and I've made a 15x15 platform. So it'll fit, but the next multi-block, it's 11x11, that might need its own platform. I'll see. Or maybe just a long platform. I'll get this one down first. I'm going to put it down right there. And it actually looks bigger than I thought, seeing it actually placed down. So it fills out the platform kind of nicely. Now, where do the hatches go on here? I guess just any of the tungsten steel machine casings? You know what? I'm going to move this over a little bit, and then I can put hatches and things over here. I think that's where I want to put the things, but it's not making the multi-block. It doesn't take hatches. So then this instantly becomes a lot easier to set up. So then that really should be everything that I need. And I should be able to start making this crude Stargate rods. I just need to make a recipe for the foils and the long rod, and then I should be able to make a crude Stargate rod. Wow, just one of these takes a stack of weapon-grade naquita. That's crazy. But just one of them shouldn't be that hard to make, even if it takes over a minute to do some of the weapon-grade naquita. I think it's doing 56 at a time, though, so not bad. No, it's done about 32. Still decent. Wait a minute. I might have checked the numbers at exactly the wrong time. I think I greatly miscalculated how much it crafts. Oh god, it makes 2! That means it's about an hour per rod. A comically long time is very accurate. I think me throwing out a matter of weeks to finish this was not as extreme as I thought it would be. Let's just simplify and say this takes an hour to make a Stargate rod. I need 504 to make all of the chevron blocks. So that would be 21 days of leaving this running. Yeah, I'm not doing that. I don't think 16 is a bad bet, because that would take it down to about 1.5 days to craft. And that is perfectly fine for me to leave running in the background between videos. The blast chiller is not a concern, so I can probably just leave this as is. I definitely don't have time to do it in this video. It's probably a next video thing, depending on how much I'm bothered to do the other things. But I'm going to need 16 of these. But if how it went last time's anything to go by, I don't think it'll be that hard. I don't know, this is all logistics for me to figure out on my own, and I'll get back to you by next video. Hang on. In this current state, it takes 50 seconds in the old blast furnace, and I'm still making 2 at a time because I have 2 of the furnaces. So then until I can get more hearth furnaces, these blast furnaces are exactly as good. And actually, it's probably easier for me to get 32 of these regular blast furnaces than 16 hearth furnaces. That could be the strategy I go for then. Unless there's some way I can boost the parallel of the hearth furnaces, the regular blast furnaces would be a lot more economical. I need twice as many, but that's not much of a concern considering how cheap they are, comparably. I'm still open to advice in the comments if there's a better solution here, but unless there's some way to really buff the hearth furnace, 32 regular blast furnaces sounds fine by me. And just to cover my bases, the UHV 16A hatch isn't craftable in this version of the pack. That would be a very significant upgrade, but it is not an option. Neither is a UEV hatch. Well then, this is probably going to take another 20 minutes or so to finish, and I have another multi-block to work on. So let's see what I need for that. The double dragon steel plate I can do manually, same with the double titanium carbide, liquid HSSE I can make, and prismallium wires? No, I don't have enough spare, but I can probably get more pretty easily. And then the big one, the UV field generator. This one's a bit of a doozy. The Gravi Star is pretty expensive, and I need to get a UV emitter as well, along with research for the 2. But that should be the control block taken care of. How about everything else here? Need to make stellarium frames. They're expensive, but they're not that hard. And then signalum casings aren't even either of those. They're super cheap and super easy. Although I don't know where my recipe for signalum went. And then how much of everything do I need? I need 87 stellarium frames, 50 firebox casings, 9 intake casings, 270 stress-proof casings, 112 high-temperature casings, and then 190 signalum casings. That's all gonna take quite a while to go through. Thankfully, the hearth furnace has freed itself up by now, because the Stargate rod is finished. One of very, very many. Okay, it's been about 40 minutes or so. I have everything that I need. I've forgot to get the control block going, but it doesn't matter how long that's going to take, because it pales in comparison to how much stellarium I'm going to need here. Because just doing some quick mental maths here, to get the 87 stellarium frames that I need, that's another 24 buckets worth of molten stellarium, and getting 2 buckets takes about 20 minutes, so that's multiple hours of waiting. I don't have multiple hours, so I'm not gonna be able to get this finished in time. So I can get the control block. I don't expect that to be terribly hard. And I can build up as much of the multi-block as I can, but I'm not going to be finishing it. That's going to be a next video thing. So I'm just going to build this up as much as I can. I'll even go so far as to connect the power, but yeah, that's all I can manage right now. Until I can get the stellarium frames, this is going to have to sit like this for a bit. And I kind of knew going all the way to the Stargate rod was going to be a bit ambitious to do in one video. And I'm already pushing it. So I'm just going to call this here. I think I've still done quite enough. We got the heat chamber for void ingots, and we got the rotor machine to start making the crude Stargate rods. I just need to wait on the stellarium, and then I can get the super pressure heat chamber to turn them into proper Stargate rods, but I'm not going to worry about that until I've significantly improved how I get them. Which might be next video thing? I'm not sure. I'll see if any of this stuff needs a significant infrastructure change. Because who knows, maybe the compressed stuff is going to take a long time. I don't know, I'll get into that some other time. For now, I think I'm happy with this progress. I'll get the stellarium frames on my own. Next time I'll at least complete the quest for the Stargate rod, and I'll figure out where we're going next. Because I've got a couple options here. I don't know. Either way, that's enough for this video. I'm going to call this here. Bye.